Welcome back to the roulette room. Tonight we're going to do a system that I found on YouTube the other night. I was watching YouTube and come across the roulette master and his video about 9 lives roulette, and I was pretty intrigued about that. And I watched it several different times, but I've never tried it on the simulator myself. So we're going to run through it here. It is a $2,000 bankroll system, and it's a $45 open and bet with $5 units across 9 streets. So basically, the placement is a $5 unit, and you're going to start with the first set of streets, and then you're going to skip over and do the 7, the 10, the 13, and then the 22, the 25, the 28, the 31, and the 34. It's a total of 9 streets, 27 numbers covered on a 38 number roulette board, and it's strategic placement around the 0 and double 0, as he says, but we're not covering the 0 and double 0. But as he was playing, he was running through it pretty quick, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit for some people. And he has a great channel, so definitely go check it out. But I really liked it. You've seen some other videos that I really like, um, the 9 street roulette. So we're going to try the 9 lives. So, anyways, we'll set a 15-minute timer and spin with a $45 open and bet. So that's a 22 black. It's a win straight off the bat. It's $15. So we're risking $45 for a $15 bet at base level. And we're going to rebet and spin. And I'll show you the progression as we go on and talk about it a little bit. There's another win on 29 black. Anytime you have a win at base level, just rebet and spin. This will use a somewhat of a Fibonacci betting progression. But you can see right there is 3 wins straight off the bat. We're up $45. 6 black, that should be a loss. So here you will see we're going to rebet and we're going to double the bet, and there's no doubles in this, just this is easier to make it double. So there's a $90 bet, and we're still up. Oh, we're at a break even 0. Okay. All right, there is a 13 black. That is a win, so we'll be up $30. On this, we were not in session profit, so we are going to rebet, and the last number that was called out was a 13 black. And what they do is they remove the street that won. And because we're not in session profit is the reason that our bet is going to stay where it's at. $30 red, that should be a win. So that win is $40. Now our session profit is $70. And we're going to reset to base level of $45. All right. And spin. That's a 12 red. I believe that is a win. Another $15 win. We'll rebet and spin. And we're currently up $85. I love this system. That should be a win on 9 red. A lot of coverage. Rebet and spin. At $45 base bet, we've broke the $100 mark in just about 3 minutes. There's a 5 red. That'll be a loss. So now we're going to rebet and double that bet. And what it is, if we end up having multiple losses, I can show you. But you're doing a Fibonacci, so you have a 1, a 1, and then you'll go to a 2. You're adding the first 2 bets together, and we're going to reset to $45. And then if you lost again, the 2 and a 1 become a 3, the 3 and a 2 become a 5, the 5 and the 3 become an 8, and so forth. But basically with this, with $5 units, it'd be 5, then 10, then 15, then 25, and 40, and so forth. And there was another win. 11 black. That should be a win. And we'll take that all day long. Would love to try this in a casino. Session profit of 115. 11 black again. That right there is the one thing that I don't like about. That's the one thing that I don't like about removing a street that just hit, because that was a back-to-back 11. If we would have removed that, if we were been in the betting progression where we removed that street, then we would have lost that one and we would have had to move on to the next one in the betting progression. There's another $15 win. We're up 145 for session profit. We're going to rebet and spin. About 5 minutes in. He said that he's had quite a bit of luck in the casino playing with this system. There's a loss. So we'll rebet and double that bet. Goes from 5 to 10 across those 9 streets. We're still up 100. He said he's had quite a bit of luck with it. Said he uses it quite a bit here lately, so thought I might give it a shot. So there is another loss. So we are going to rebet, and we're going to add the 2 previous bets together, the 10 and the 5, and make it 15 across each street for a $135 bet. We're up $10. 21 red, that'll be a win. Oh no, that's a loss. All right, so we're down 125. That was the next street over. All right, so we're going to rebet. We're at 15. So now we have to add the 10, which was the previous bet, and the 15 to make it 25 on each street. $225 total bet. We have $25 on each number, or each street. 34 red will be a win. $75 win. So we're still down 50. So the way this would work is we would rebet at the 225, and we would remove everything on the 34th street. $200 bet and spin. I understand that it helps with the progression. There's a win. $100 net win. We're up $50. And the way this works here is we would rebet, remove that street. I can't remember exactly how many streets we would remove. I need to research that. So see, there is another loss. Me personally, like I said, I would not be removing streets. So we're at 25 on each one, so we need to go to 40. And spin. Down 125. There's a 2 black, that'll be a win. That's a $200 win. We're up $75. I myself, it's getting a little too rich for my blood, so I'm going to reset at my $45 limit. and spin. Because right there was a double zero and we would have lost a bunch of money. Rebet and double that bet. We're up 30 and spin. So this would technically be 9 Lives Roulette. I'm sure I'm probably playing it a little differently because I'm going to have a little more bankroll management involved, just as a natural reaction to something like this. Because if I was in a casino, I wouldn't want all my money to go away. 26 black, that should be a win. And there we are, 75. Rebet and spin. 17 black, that should be a win. Oh, nope, those two streets in the middle. All right, so we're going to rebet and double that bet. I don't play these systems claiming to know everything about it. I play it so that way I can trigger a memory or see if I need to what I need to work on and what I need to hone in the skills on. All right, so we're going to remove that street with the 15 black, and we're at an $80 bet. We're up $60. 10 minutes in, 34 red. So there's a win of $40. All right, we're up 100. I'm going to reset. And as you learn the systems, that's the whole point in the simulator, is you learn the systems. That is when you can, test your risk tolerance. There was a 0. We're going to rebet and double the bet. We're up 55. I just feel like this gives good real world scenario as close as you can with a simulator. All right, so there is a 7 red. We're going to remove that number. It's an $80 bet. We're up 85. A win here will be for $40. And there's another loss. So we will rebet. We've got 10 on each one. We need to add one more. It's 120. We're only up 5, $120 bet. Spin. $30 red. All right, there's a $60 win. So the adjustment that I'm going to make here is I'm going to rebet to get back to session profit as close as I can. I'm not removing the street. I don't see risking $120 just to up my win possibility by 10 or 20 bucks. There's a 10 black. There's a win. All right, so we're up 125, and I believe I will reset. And as I learn the system a little more, I'll be a little more aggressive with it. And spin. We've got about 2 minutes left. 22 black. There's a win of 15. We're up 140. I'm going to rebet and spin. $36 red, that's a win. Rebet and spin. Up 155. About a minute and a half left. 16, I believe that's a loss. It is. So we're going to rebet and double that bet. Still up 110. Double zero. There's another loss. So we're going to rebet and add 5 more. For a 135 bet. Just under a minute left. I may play this one a little longer depending. There's a win. All right, so I'd like to get back close to that 155 mark. So 65 is where we're at now. We're going to rebet and spin, and I am tweaking the system. I am not going to remove any streets. I feel like that's the safer bet. There's a $45 win. We're up 110. We're going to rebet for 135 and spin. And even right now, if there was a loss, you're basically to break even, so no big deal. All right, we're at 155, so I'm going to rebet and spin one more time, and this should be our last spin as time comes to an end. There's a 5 red. That took all of the profits there, but I want to continue playing it here for a few minutes. All right, so in that aspect, we are at 15 on each one, so we need 25. That's the 15 and the 10 added together. And let's see if we can get a win here. Anytime you get up in a casino, you should take your money and run. If you get up a couple $100, you really should cash out, especially if you get it quickly. And let's see if we can get one more for a $75 win. And we couldn't make it happen. So anyways, we'll go ahead and end the video right there. The 9 Lives Roulette System works out pretty well. I'll tweak it a little bit. Obviously we would have been at about a break even if I hadn't done those last 2 spins. The system works really well. You always have ups and downs. Anytime you're playing roulette, you can always lose. But we'll keep trying it out as the time goes on in the simulator. But I really like the system itself. It's just I want to try to perfect a few of the things and study up on it some, and we'll try to get it at a later date. But until then, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.